Jake's next reader's work has been published in Stories We Tell After Midnight Volume 3, Allegory, Angel Rust, Drabble Dark 2, Mudroom, The Drabble, Flash Flood, Filth, The Sunlight Press, and Esoterica, with more coming this year in Sage Cigarettes and Flash Fiction magazine. So our next reader is Bethany Browning, and you can find her on Twitter at Buzzword Social and on her website, which is BethanyBrowning.com. Again, Buzzword Social and BethanyBrowning.com.
So I'm Bethany. I am I am a writer. I have a couple of other announcements to make before I start reading. My debut novella, Sasquatch Baby, is available on Amazon currently, and the paperback will be out next week, but right now you can get it as an ebook. And additionally, I am a co-writer on a feature film called War of the Wills, which is available now on Amazon as well. And I have a friend who will post all of those comments and links to that in the chat here on YouTube. And if we can't get my camera working, I guess I'll just keep going. Is this weird for everybody, or should we try to maybe hit a button? Let me see if this works. Oh, there I am. Can you guys see me? Okay. All right, we got thumbs up. Okay, good. Thank you for your patience. This is Bag Lady. Doghouse is different than Sniff, I said to the blinking couple in the Pet Palace pop-up shop at Crown and Hastings Market. I gave the tester a light squeeze. Bright citrus makes up the top note, supported by a base of cedar wood that peeps through during the dry down, I continued. Sniff isn't as nuanced. I think Emoji is a doghouse boy, the woman said, the words pulsing through her artificially inflated lips. Don't you, Kipton? The price, though, Bathory, Kipton responded, his forehead unmoving. What kind of dog is Emoji? I asked, other than a very good boy. This joke worked on everyone, every time. A Scooty Doodle? Bathory's uptalk confused me. I wasn't sure if she was asking me or telling me. He's like a scooter and a poodle and whatever. Words "that's not a thing" shoved their way one by one into my mouth like billiard balls, and I had to swallow hard to keep them from slipping out and bouncing all over the floor. Instead, I went with, you don't want Emoji to smell like a rescue, do you? The loathing I felt for these medically enhanced morons surged through my nervous system, an irritation so severe I feared I could break out in blisters all over my body. My crappy apartment wasn't going to pay for itself. As ever, I sealed the doghouse deal and cleared enough commission to afford a sandwich from the deli counter, which is why I came to work at Crown and Hastings in the first place. It was the kind of shop where trustafarians and trophy wives could acquire oat milk, pigeon eggs, and coffee beans that had been shat out by a civet cat. But the new owners of Crown and Hastings had also created pop-up shops for pets, floral and gifts, and any employee could earn commission by upselling specialty items to people with more money than sense. I was coming off of 10 years as an environmental activist with the Climate Underground, and I was ready to dip a toe into capitalism if it meant that I wouldn't get pepper sprayed in the face anymore. Entitled bougie assholes were part of the deal, which I accepted, until I couldn't. Mrs. Pringle wasn't the kind of old lady anyone would notice. She was under 5 feet tall with a rounded back. She came in every day for this and that, gluten-free bread, baking soda toothpaste, and at the end of every transaction, she'd ask for a plastic bag to carry her purchases home. Crown and Hastings charged $2 per plastic bag, certainly enough to discourage a senior citizen on a fixed income. I even offered to buy her a $15 reusable tote, sewn by women in developing countries who use the funds to get their fistulas sewn up. It was a great deal. I had 3. Plastic is fine, she said. Every day this happened, and every day it made me long for the nights I spent deep in logging country, loosening screws on fleets of knuckle-boom loaders. I'd lay awake, envisioning the carnage each one of Mrs. Pringle's bags was inflicting on the planet. Bags entangled in deer antlers. Bags trapped in trees in our city parks, flapping like sad windsocks. I winced when she appeared at my check stand. I rang up her tiny bottle of organic eye drops and took one last stab. Perhaps you'd like one of our reusable bags, I said. My treat. The smile never left her face as she said, "Plastic is fine, sweetheart." I dug my nails deep into the flesh of my palms. I'm no sweetheart. I'm a climate justice warrior. Mrs. Pringle stopped to chat with my coworker Jaxley, her plastic bag with one item taunting me from across the store. My eyes burned holes in the back of her dowager's hump. And then, serendipity. Jaxley waved me over and said they'd take the rest of my shift. They wanted to get home late anyway since their partner was moving out and they didn't need any more of that drama, my good God. Normally, I'd fight for my shifts because I was now as passionate about money as I was once about lobbing Molotov cocktails into truck dealerships. But this was a sign. I raced out of Crown and Hastings, got a beat on Mrs. Pringle, and followed her home. Sneaking up on her was laughably easy. She couldn't hear worth a damn. When she opened the door, I gave her a small shove, just enough to tip her out of the way, and I slipped in right behind her. A confused, "Oh?" was the last sound Mrs. Pringle uttered. I can still hear the brittle, crinkling sound of the bag as I tightened the handles around her throat. She slumped to the parquet floor with no more intensity than a pile of laundry. The sigh of 1,000 spared shorebirds breezed through me as I pocketed the eye drops. Those old climate underground feelings were paying me a visit. The smell of homemade explosives, a phantom wrist pain from zip ties, fingers sore from sewing flags with made up acronyms. I took a beat to observe her apartment. In my mind's eye, it had been cluttered with thousands of plastic bags, bags spilling out of drawers, bags filled with more bags. Instead, I found a tidy home with nary a speck of dust nor a pile of papers, not a bag in sight. I'd stumbled into a secret I shouldn't know, but I couldn't unsee. A bag a day disappeared into thin air. Sleep was a wrestling match that night, and I wanted to call in sick. But I was already up and restless, so I brushed my teeth and hair and slouched my way to Crown and Hastings like a responsible adult. Jaxley was crying so hard their makeup was streaming down their face and pooling in their suprasternal notch. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Mrs. Pringle died," they said through hiccup sobs. Were you close?" A light breeze could have knocked me to my knees. They nodded and wiped their nose. "My third grade teacher." I was frozen to my spot. "She did take a lot of plastic bags." Even I couldn't believe I said that. Jaxley stopped breathing, their eyes narrowed. "She picked up litter," they said through gritted teeth. "Come again?" I asked. A splash of nausea made itself known deep in my gut. "Litter," Jaxley said, using their hands to emphasize the two syllables. "Trash that people throw on the street?" She used, "What?" Jaxley's piercings swam before me. Since her husband died, she spent every afternoon walking the neighborhoods. She filled a bag a day, Starbucks cups, Taco Bell sauce packets, needles. She even picked up dog shit, other people's dog shit. I'm stunned. She'd bring anything that could be recycled to me. I'd refund her money for the bag and reuse it as a cat box liner. Jaxley's revelations hit me like a cop's baton. I guess I didn't know her. Jaxley leaned in so close I could see the Ankh tattoo on the inside of their lower lip. "No, you fucking didn't." They turned and whisked away. The last I saw of Jaxley that day was the back of their dyed black head as they went home to mourn. I could feel the store clock ticking inside my bones, counting the minutes until I could scurry home and hide. My mind swam between justifying what I had done and feeling sorry for what I had done. Before I could bolt into traffic, Bathory and Kipton returned, in need of a new leash for Emoji. "This one comes with a poop bag dispenser," I said. "See, you put a little roll of plastic bags in here." Kipton and Bathory exchanged stifled smiles. I continued, "You put your hand inside the bag, you pick up the poop, then turn it inside out. Keeps the parks and ponds free of disease and bacteria." I thought of Mrs. Pringle and fell into a chasm of remorse. "Emoji has his shots," Bathory whined. "Good fertilizer, am I right?" Kipton said in a jocular tone that made my teeth ache. "You just let your dog—" I snapped my mouth shut before I lost the sale. Images of Emoji shitting in public and these two stepping over the pile, leaving it for poor Mrs. Pringle, lit up my synapses like a Roman candle. My hands shook as I rang them up. "Emoji," I growled under my breath as my nostrils tingled with the scent of kerosene. My eyes watered from the memory of pepper spray, and my new plan unfurled before me like a home-sewn flag emblazoned with made-up acronyms. That's Bag Lady. So thanks so much for letting me read, guys. I appreciate it. War of Wills on Amazon and Sasquatch Baby, which is exactly what you think it is. It was also available on Amazon as well. So thank you.